Hello guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to News Tower, a small indie game about running an news empire in 1940s New York. Now, honestly, this game has got me hooked in the last 2 weeks. I've played it almost constantly. I've already clocked like 40 hours, and what inspired me to create this series is that the developers are hosting a leaderboard competition to see who can get the higher score. Now, I don't think I'll get it, but I was interested in trying to use all of the knowledge that I've accumulated in those 30 hours and try to get the highest score possible. With that being said, let's begin. So, when you start a new game, you have some options to choose on the design of the building. Now, if you're new to the game, you won't have these two unlocked. You only have Intro and Classic. Intro is the normal tutorial which you can play at the start, but I'm just gonna do a Classic this time. The other designs are interesting, but you have to unlock them. You have to unlock them in game. So we'll just hit Classic. Here you get the classical intro about your father leaving and giving a rundown business to you, similar to a lot of other games. But we'll just set up the newspaper name, just call it High Score. Right? Hit confirm. And now we're in the game. So the game is real time, but I'll show you in a minute how I like to personally play it. You can hit space to pause the game, or you can hit those controls there to change the time of the game. So like I said, the idea of the game is to build a newspaper. So you need to publish news. And for that you have a quite simple process chain that you need to follow. To build stations in this building, you can purchase multiple floors. You need to send out reporters to gather stories and then process them to finally, at the end of the week, be able to publish the newspaper. So, like I said, I've played this game already, so I have an optimal setup that I've developed for the start, which basically involves buying 2 extra floors. Each of the floor costs money, and as you can see, the amount of money grows with the amount of floors. It scales exponentially. I think the last ones are about 100k, which you can buy. There might be a limit, but I haven't personally reached it, to be honest, in my other playthroughs. But now that we purchased the floors, you can hit B or using this button here to open the build menu. See all the items that you can build on the right. Now, basically, each of the different workers will have their own stations, and this is what you actually need to add to hire your workers and be able to send them out on assignments. The main stations that you have available are the reporters. Here in the info you can see that the reporter takes news from the word, and we'll see that in a second, and converts them into stories. Now, you also need a telegraph station. This basically will listen to the word and give your reporters stories where they can go and investigate. Then under production, you need to convert those stories. You can also see the chain on the right side of the element there, but you'll need this typesetting disk that basically converts stories into text slugs. And then finally assembly table, which will basically take the text slugs and then allow you to actually add them to the newspaper. Now this is the basic chain, the simple one. As you progress through the game and research more stuff, you'll have access to different chains, but this is where we start from. Now for the setup, I have something a bit that I've developed a bit clear. You'll need stairs to access each level. I like to start with this layout because it offers a lot of space on the 3rd floor, and on the 4th floor we'll do the actual printing, but we'll see it when we get there. So now, like I said, the typesetting disk basically converts stories from reporters to text logs, and the assembly table takes the text logs and creates the article. Now the reporters will go out in the world, and when they come in, they'll go through the front door and go to the first typesetting disk. So that's why it's recommended to have the typesetting disk as close as possible to the exit. Because that way your reporters have the least amount of travel time. Now for week 1, you can start with just one typesetting disk and one assembly table, but starting from week 2 or week 3 you might need more than that, so I usually like to start with 2 of them. I won't necessarily hire the people already, but I'll start with 2 of them there. Now, one more thing, your employees have needs, and one of their needs is to go to the bathroom, so we need to also construct a bathroom for them. Now, the employees will basically go from the station and go to the other places to fulfill their needs. There are 2 main needs. There is the bathroom need and the food need. Now they will go to a station as far apart from them to fulfill any of those needs, but just to optimize the time, it's recommended to have at least 1 toilet and 1 food and 1 water cooler, which is used to fulfill the food need on each floor, so that they don't have to spend a lot of time traversing floors to fulfill their needs. So here we're gonna construct a bathroom on the right side, and we're just gonna put in a door there. Now you've seen them there a bit there, but there's also a mechanic in the game around comfort. So in order for your workers to work efficiently, they need to have an optimal comfort level. To view the comforts, you can hit this button here and go to comfort view, or you can just press the 3 key. Green is good, but yellow and orange is bad. So here you can see that we have a negative comfort for smell. I think there's smell, there's noise, and there's also temperature. See them there, but you can click that button or go to comfort and select each one that the category that you're looking for. So in this case we want the smell ones, and place a sink. So make it a bit bigger. Place a sink here, and you can see this reduced it a bit, but not all the way. So we can also place an air vent, maybe also a small fan, and finally we can finish it with the tiles wallpaper to reduce that complaint. Okay, so also we need a water cooler. Now I think the optimal position for the water cooler is actually somewhere around the door here, because if we place it near the bathroom, then these workers here will have to travel there and travel back to actually get to it. So the water cooler is actually the best position for it is usually near the door, because maybe people from other floors will go there to fulfill their needs, or somewhere in the middle of the floor, so that the people at outside of the floor won't have to travel a lot to actually get there. Okay, now there is one extra need that people want, and that is lighting. If they don't have lights, they complain. So let's try to add some lights into each of the different rooms. So let me add one here and an extra one here. I want to leave here some space for the future. You'll see why. Now, on the second floor, here we're gonna have the reporter desk and the telegraph station. For now, I'm gonna put the telegraph station on the left side of the room. To add in the telegraph station, can go to reporting, but we'll just add two of them. Let's also add a small door in here. Now you can see that the telegraph station has a noise requirement, but for the noise we can put in an acoustic panel. We'll change a bit the configuration of this room, maybe we'll move them in the future, but for now this is a good spot for them. Okay, let's also add a light. And there is also a small noise, still a small noise problem. Okay, I've removed it. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the ass. I've noticed that sometimes the comfort level isn't shown correctly. So sometimes even if there's empty and there's no discomfort showing, still the people will get uncomfortable. So I don't know, but we'll see when we get there. Now I also need to add in my reporters. To do that, you'll need to add in a reporter desk. I would say that for the first weeks, a good number of reporters is 4. Now for telegraphers, you would want as many as possible. And actually I can have 3 now that I'm seeing. So we'll have 3 there, but after 3 telegraphers, then it doesn't allow me to build more. We'll have to unlock it in the future with technology, and we'll see it a bit later exactly how to do that. Now, saying that, they also want a bathroom, so let's add one here. Not here, employee needs. So add a bathroom, and you can click the discomfort to quickly navigate to it. So let's add there. Let's also add some lights in this room here. Okay, so we have this part set up for now. Let's give these people some a water cooler here. You can select multiple objects, by the way, and drag to drop them and move their position. Let me just shift up a bit this acoustic panel to reduce the noise complaint there. And I think we have our setup for the first 2 floors. Now, one of the things with the first 2 with the employee comfort is really important, and honestly I didn't know this when I first ran a series. Clocks are really important. Why? Because clocks actually improve the environment. So when the comfort view, so right now we are in the comfort view, when the bar is green, that means positive comfort. So it's a good idea to place clocks near all of your co-workers, and I'm gonna add a clock next to each of the different stations. And have it there like that. Okay, so we have our water cooler, we have our bathrooms, we have our clocks, we have our lights, we have all of our working stations. Again, we'll probably need to redesign a bit, in a short time, but we're okay with this. Now, we need some way to print our newspapers, and for that we need to create our printing room. So we can go to printing. Basically, you need to set up these stations, and the optimal way that I've seen this set up is to have each one 3 tiles apart, and you see in a second why. But you basically need for that a printer page module, a printer input module, which needs to be the first one, and then a printer output module. So we can just click it to move, and we'll place them 3 tiles apart. Okay, now you can just click on the module and drag and drop, and this will connect the module between them. For the first week, you probably don't need 2 pages, but I just wanted to set it up to have it set up for later. And as you can see, these modules actually cause a lot of discomfort, a lot of heat, a lot of noise. So first, let me try to block off this room like this. And in order to reduce a bit the noise, we can add in these acoustic panels. Now, I specifically had a free space between them. If you want to be really space efficient, you can actually place them at, or at least these page modules, you can place them in 2 tiles apart. And honestly, comfort in this room doesn't matter that much, because here only the repair guy will come in and he might get discomfort from it. But I find it that it's a good idea to actually try to make this room at least a little bit comfortable. So that's those panels we put in for the noise. You also have different wallpapers. This one really helps with the noise, and as we can see, it really reduced the noise here. We still have the heat remaining. For that we can use the air vents, and I usually like this setup here. Now, it won't be absolutely perfect. There will still be some heat there. Anyone who comes into the room will have some discomfort, and that's one of the things about these games. Discomfort really hits you hard. So if your employees are in this discomfort, it really hampers their productivity. So you should try to keep them at top as much as possible. Okay, this room still needs some lights, so let's just add 3 of them. And maybe to further reduce a bit the heat, we can place in some small fans. There will still be some heat there. There's nothing pretty much you can do about that at this stage, but we can move it from there. Now I'm gonna set up an air vent here just to limit a bit the heat in this room, and we can also set up the light. We can use this small room for some stuff a bit later, but I think we're okay for now. Okay, and that's the basic construction done. This is basically the vital roles that you need to have at start, and I think this setup is pretty much optimal. If you guys have different ideas around it, you can just let me know in the comments. But now let's go and try to hire some of the people. So each week you'll have 4 different options for each category. You see here the reporters. These usually are the people with the desk that go in and report on the field. And you also have production. Right now, with what we have unlocked, we only have the telegraph station, which is this stat here. We have the assembly table and the typesetting desk, and each of them consists of the different skill on the employee. Now every employee will have 3 different skills, and depending on how many you have locked, you will have different options here. Now, first of all, for the telegraph station. Now here, looking at the employees, they also have some perks. The best perk here is this versatile one that gains people can gain experience and gain skills up to a maximum of 5. The other 5s we'll see are from the environment, but this perk allows you to gain experience on unused skills. Now specifically for this task, they aren't that interesting. This one is a bit better on reporters, but anyway, that's one we can consider. So we have 4 people here. I'm just gonna pick this one because he's cheap. Cheap basically means that he'll cost less, which, to be honest, is not that big of a deal as you might think, because salaries aren't that big of a component of the cost. But if you can take it, just take it. Okay, then we have this guy, which is trash tolerant, not bothered by trash. Again, this perk, to be honest, doesn't matter that much, but we need the people there, so we can just grab him. We have 2 extra people, but they don't have a skill in telegrapher, which will help us here. So, but they do have skills in assembly and typesetting. So let's just add these people here and here. So I have 2 telegraphers, 1 person in typesetting and 1 person in assembly. Now, in each category of reporter, production and utility, you get only 4 people per week. We need to hire 6 or 5. So in order to see more, you actually need to reload, which will cost $100, and you can do that only 3 times per week. So we're actually going to do it now. Let's see, ordery. I don't really like these people, to be honest, but let's use him for the typesetting desk. And let's just use her for assembly. Now there's this slot trade. Honestly, he looks really cheap at $19 compared to $71, for instance, but he's horrible. He works really slow, and honestly in this game, speed is the most important thing. The sooner you can finish a certain news item, the more you can include in the paper, the more money you make. So scalability is really important in this game, so try to avoid this rate as much as possible. It's not a good thing. Okay, now for this one we have just the slot guy, so I'm gonna pick this guy, which has no skills. Now honestly, we got a pretty bad set of initial people, but I think in the first 10 weeks we'll try to replace them with better guys. We'll see. Now for the reporters, the same thing. For the stories themselves, for the reporter you have 6 main categories that you can research. They are basically crime, society, politics, sports, entertainment, and economy. The other three we'll see it a bit later once we unlock some stuff. Now, the aim for the first weeks is to have 2 people in each, which is that would be the perfect start. I don't know if we're gonna get that. So right now I'm just trying to pick the best person here. Let's see. Now this guy I think is the best, even though he doesn't have any traits, but he has 2 stars in both. Usually you won't keep your initial reporters, to be honest. You just constantly have to farm for reporters later on. But right now we just want to make sure we have everything covered. Now we still have reloads available and we're gonna use that. But for now, let's see if we want to pick something else. So he would be great in a sense because he has everything that this guy doesn't have. So we can just choose him for now, and if we find someone better, we'll use it. But here we don't really have something better. Let's see, this guy has economics and sports. This guy has crime, entertainment, and politics. I kinda like this guy. We can have him here. By the way, if you don't know exactly what your reporters do, you can see them a bit easier here. So right now we can see that we have 2 in crime, 2 in sports, and 2 in economy. Now this game really encourages you to have a pretty even split because you have a variety of story types, and it's not really recommended to specialize. But now if we want to keep it in equilibrium, we need to have someone with entertainment, politics, and society. So let's see if we have something like that. So entertainment, politics, society. Perfect. So we can just add this guy. Now stars are important, but we'll talk about it a bit later. And I'm just gonna refresh once. I'm hoping maybe we'll get some good stars, but unfortunately we didn't have any good traits in there. Chip is kind of a good one because you can maximize the amount of profit that you're making. But even there, let's say we have a quarter of our stuff is cheap, you might get something like 200 or 300 bucks per week, which is not a big thing. You're looking for quality traits, and one of the good ones that we found, actually no, not in here, it was that guy with where was him? Didn't we have a guy with this one with versatile? So versatile doesn't really matter for production workers because usually they just focus on one task, like typesetting. But for someone like a reporter, when you go to a story, you basically maximize one of the tasks. So let's say society. The other one stays the same. So the reporter needs to go into a different type of task to actually maximize sports. But when you have versatile, you basically level up the 2 of them while you do a society story, which is real powerful in a way. There's also another trait that actually gives you 50% more experience. For reporters, versatile is actually better because instead of having 50% more experience on one single trait, you have 50% more experience in 2 traits. But yeah, wanted to have a versatile person at start, but unfortunately we didn't get there. But if we look at the stuff, now we have an even breakdown of all of the stories that you can research. This is ideal for the start. You really want to try to make it there. But don't worry if you have if you're not perfectly ideal when you start it. It's okay. You can work with it. Okay. Now, as we are in hiring, we can also go to utility. These are people which do certain extra stuff. When you start, you have access to 3 different skills, to sweepers, and we'll get into a second what that means, transporting and washing. Now, this is, in my opinion, one of the best traits that we have here, strong. This is really good for a transporter. Normally, I wouldn't hire a transporter so early on, but this is a really good trait and I want to hire him now just to secure that trait. The transporter will basically carry stuff throughout the building, and we'll see it a bit later then, but right now I want to actually secure that guy, because if I wait for okay, it's under utility. If I wait for next week, I will actually lose him, so I don't want to lose that trait for now. It's a bit bad because he has 0 transporting skill, but he will get better in time. Now for the rest one, okay, this is actually also good. Now you can't really lower down your heat completely in the printer room, and from time to time objects in the tower will break. So someone will have to go from time to time to repair these machines. For that reason, he will be exposed to heat. And this trait that makes him heat tolerant, it's actually a pretty good trait for repairing, for mechanics. I wouldn't recommend this trait on anyone else. It's basically useless on anyone else, but specifically for mechanics, this is a really good trait, so we're gonna add it in. And for that we need a workbench. So yeah, heat tolerant, there you go. Now, since we've added these guys, let's actually add them some clocks. Again, remember the clocks. Now, we're gonna keep them on this floor for now. On this floor we don't have a bathroom, but it's okay, they can just go downstairs and fulfill their needs there. Now, since we started on utilities, let's cover the other 2. There's also sleeping stations and washing stations. Washing stations, they will basically clean the bathrooms. That's the whole point. And I'm not gonna hire a person this week, we basically don't need them. And sweeping stations will go to each place, because these guys will generate garbage, will generate paper, and the sweeping station will need to clear it out. And for that there is also one extra thing that helps, which I forgot to add, and that's a trash can. So let's add a trash can under each of these separate stations. These guys don't actually need them, so we only need it here. And that's about it. For now, I think this is a correct setup. I won't hire these 2 jobs for now, I just want to wait for better people for it. I think we can just start the game. Now, when you first play the game, I think you can just unpause it, and this will let time tick slowly. But actually what I like to do is to keep the game on pause, and then use the fast forward functionality to move in, because in this game there are a lot of events that you need to respond to, and sometimes you might not actually see it and time will tick and you'll lose time on it. That's why I like to keep on pause and use the fast forward. You can click it and you need to keep it clicked to actually to fast forward to work. But one of the things I like to do is to use the key binding for it. I think by default the key binding is something like right arrow, something weird like that, but you can actually go to settings, control, and change it to a different key. In my case I set it up to Q, but do it to something comfortable, something you're used to. Okay, and now we started the game. Basically, this guy has starting researching. Once they finish, they will generate a news on the globe, on the map. And you can click each news and see what they're about. Okay, don't show me this message. So here we have two different news. We have one with crime and one with entertainment. But oh, I actually forgot something here. Now, each of the different stations can also be enhanced with different objects that will raise the skill of that station. Right now we just have access to one single object like that, globe. You can access them from reporting accessories. But when I try to place one here in the blue highlighted, and by the way, that's you can place them anywhere, but if they're highlighted blue, they will actually improve that workstation. But once I do that, now you can see that my person has gained a skill. To be honest, I was a bit less optimal here because I should have done that at the start, but now let's try to do it. Now, for these guys, you can see that this guy has a skill in society, so that's why when I highlighted, when I try to drag the globe, it will highlight with blue the desk, because this guy has the skill, this guy doesn't. So that's why it doesn't, it allows me to place it there, but it won't do anything for this guy. Okay. And with that, I do think we're done this time, so let's try to go to the news. Now, when you go to a certain news, here you can see the tags attached to that news. Each story has different tags. Most of them are bronze, but you also do have silver and golden tags. Silver and golden worth more points, but we'll see it there. And here you can see the type of reporter that tag requires, in this case entertainment. So we can just drag and assign a new person here. Now this is the time required for that reporter to research the news. This is influenced by skills. I think if you have someone which is unskilled, which we don't have right now, this is gonna be 1 day. Because this guy has one skill, this is reduced to 18 hours. So you want reporters to have as much skill as possible. So here you can see that with economy this takes 1 day. If we use this guy which has one skill, it will take less. Now this news, you have to actually pick which side you want to go into. Now in this case doesn't matter, but maybe in the future the choice will matter quite a lot. But right now let's just pick the first one. Let's pick economy, and you can see now this route is blocked. Now another news appeared. This one involves 3 different routes, so you have to complete all of them to complete the news. So we can click here. Now we don't have any other person available, so right now we have to wait for the other reporters. You can hover to see how much time they have left. So basically we'll have someone available in society, so this guy, in 23 hours. So we'll have to wait a bit. There's nothing we can do about it. This guy has finished their job, and now we have another news available. Now for this one, this basically shows us that after we complete this news, we're gonna get an object. So let me place a guy in there. Now these guys are full, and only now they finished. Let's see, yeah, we have 2 of them. I actually want to go this way and this way, because this guy will have extra skills. Extra skills will make this job finish a bit faster, and then we'll unlock a new object, which might be an improving object, like we've seen with the globe, which will make us the future news to be a bit more fast. So it's a good idea to have them there. So we'll just fast forward. Now we unlocked 2 new objects, so looks like we unlocked the sports one, and this is a society one. Okay, that's actually great. Okay, so we unlocked these objects, let's actually add them in. So we have one society here and here. Actually want to shift these guys around. So let me reassign them. So society is this guy. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, this seems like a minor bug. But anyways, maybe if we try it like this. But it doesn't let me do it for this for some reason. Okay, come on dude, what's the problem? Maybe if I rebuild it. Nah. Wait, this is an actual bug. I've never seen this bug. Let me try it again. Why doesn't allow me to set up this guy? Okay. Let's try something here now. So this guy works. Something with this guy. Okay, weird. Let's do one more. Nah. Yeah, I don't know. The game hates this guy for a reason. Yeah, I don't know what problem the game has with that guy, but anyways, let's just move on. We're just not going to use him. So if we go to reporting accessory, we can see now that we can add this object. This actually gives +2 society, and honestly at the start +2 is quite a lot. So society is usually one of your strongest researching category, and it's a good idea to maybe focus on society at start, because the higher the skill is, the faster you can report on the news. You're limited on the news you can report by the number of people that you have available in the telegraphing stations. So focusing on society and picking more society news is a good idea, because you'll finish them faster. Now here, when a guy comes in from assignment, from reporting, he will drop out the reports to this guy in the typesetting disk. Quick tip which we might use in the future quite a lot: you actually can pick up the reports yourself and place them in the correct station. This is a bit faster, so we can take the text graph for instance and place it here. It will be a bit faster than allowing them to actually do it. And sometimes I've noticed it in the past that the product items aren't balanced correctly. So in one station you might have a lot of text lag, like 5 or 6, and maybe in the other station you have nothing. And then when the guy or one, and when the guy finishes, the ones from here don't actually go there, or people don't actually balance them between them. So once a certain production item has made it into a certain station, doesn't really matter if there are other stations available. It will have to, the job needs to be done by this guy. Apparently the developers have recently made an update and said that this problem should be a bit better now, but we'll see. I haven't played around with it enough to be able to judge it. But anyways, okay, so we have our reporters here. By the way, you can see how many more stories are to be researched. So in this case we'll get one more story, so we can just fast forward and we'll see it there. Oh, okay, so that guy was in on assignment. Let's see if we build it now a disk, move him here. Yeah, okay, now it actually allows us. So we will actually fire this guy because we don't need him, and move this guy back. And one more tip, so when you want to remove a certain object, you have the option to sell it, but selling it usually costs a bit, pays you a bit less than you bought for it, so it pays you half, but you do have the option to stash it. This will save the object for later, so you don't have to buy it again, and when you go to the stash, you can see your objects there. So try to actually stash your items when you want to save them, instead of selling them always. Okay, this is interesting. We have some paper there. Can I actually add in a trash can? Or I can just buy a sweeper. Yeah, let's just buy a sweeper. You can, by the way, the sweeper is in charge of cleaning up the trash. This is the sweeping station. Here is where you can hire that. You can, by the way, pick up your workers and place them where they need to go. So just to solve this, I'm gonna place her over the paper trash, and hopefully she will get to cleaning it. And we can just fast forward. Now we have one extra news to go through, so we're gonna place this guy in that, and for that I think we're finished for the week. Now for the news, you can see them on the right. Basically what's in green, this is already finished, so you can use them in the newspaper, and you'll see them on Sunday when we create the newspaper. You'll see exactly how that works. But for the other ones, what's in gray, they are not completed, but you can see the progress. Basically, when you do a job, depending on each of the different stories that research item might have, you'll get a different report, which all needs to be processed into slugs. So for instance, this one has 3 reports in total, because it has 3 parts to that story, and each report will have to go through both of these stations. So the first 2 reports already went through, and now we're waiting on the 3rd. Okay, so we have some stories there. We'll see it a bit later, but you can actually also prioritize reports, get more into it. But I'm hoping that our guys will actually finish the reports until Sunday. Now you can see the progress bar there. Now one more thing, in order to print a report you need paper, so we'll just have to order some paper for now. So we're gonna buy 600. I also want to buy some food at some point, but we do have a transporter, but we can actually manually move the paper. So the toilet also needs paper, so let me make sure that we are stocked in the toilet with the paper. But for now I'm gonna place all the other ones in the printer. For now you can see we have 300 there, should be okay. And now on Sunday you'll have to print. It will show a warning message at the start of the day, but you'll actually have to print at the end of the day. There are some missions that requires you to print before Sunday, and you can do that, but usually you would print at the end. And now it will give you a last chance to print. Now make sure you don't pause now, because if you do, you lose the day. But in this process, you basically need to fill out the newspaper with the stories that you have reported during the week. You can add only complete stories, and in this case we actually have completed everything. And there are some tips and tricks here. I won't go into everything for now, but basically each story will add revenue and will add readers to your newspapers. The more readers, the more revenue that you get. And each story basically has multiple categories, multiple tags. Each tag will add a certain number to your readers. I don't remember the exact values, but bronze will add a certain number. I think silver will double it, and I think gold will double that. Now, each of the different pages will have the important story, which for the first page, this is tripled. So the values added by the story are tripled. So that's why usually you want for the main story on each page to have a lot of tags so that you'll get more readers. But there's also a mechanic where tags, similar tags, will produce bonuses. So if on this page, for instance, we include also a tag with society, you'll get a bonus for the readers there. Now on this final page we basically don't have any bonuses, doesn't matter the ordering. Again, for the first week you can keep the newspaper to one single page, but I like to add in the second page there. Now each of the different tags added will have an paper requirement. Here is 90 for this number of tags that we have. I think it's 90 because we have 9 individual tags, distinct tags, or no, I think it's 12. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 9. So we have 10 per bronze, and I think it's 20 per silver and 40 per gold. And here you can see the total amount of paper that you have. Now, if you, for instance, forget to order paper on a certain day, it just penalizes you a bit, but it's not that big of a deal if you don't have enough paper at the end of the week. Now here you can see that we have a total number of sales will be 45,000. Now the price will be 0.03. Honestly, I didn't find any way to increase this, so I think that's about it for the game. Here you can see a list of the multipliers, and this will be our total revenue. So you can just hit the lever and the paper will be printed. Honestly, I like this animation quite a lot, but after some hours in it, might get a bit tedious. But here, depending on what tags you picked, you get comments from the readers. Apparently the stock market is going up, and they have to talk about liberating minds as well as liberating the society. Okay, fair enough. Okay, and now we got a revenue of 1500, 45,000 sales, and no ad revenue. We'll talk a bit about ad revenue or hidden agenda, but we can click this button to actually move on to this screen. So this was basically the first week. This is about what you can expect for the first week. After the revenue, you have to subtract the wages. For us it's a bit high, but what can you do? And then you'll move in for this screen. So how does this work? Basically each week you need to pick a neighborhood which you want to target, which let's say we can pick this one. Each neighborhood will have some requirements. For the first, the white neighborhoods, you are required to fill in some kind of tags. This could be the basic tags like are here, like society or entertainment, but there might be other more complex tags that you want to fit, like murder or I think superstar is one, Snoop is one. There are different tags which can appear at the same time with this type of stories. Now, each time you try to conquer a neighborhood, if you succeed at least on adding one tag, you'll actually unlock that neighborhood and can move on. So here we're gonna pick this one that I want to go in this direction, because in this building you can have unlocks. And I think the most important buildings to unlock early on is the radio tower, because it gives you a telegraphing station, so you can add more and you can buy more of that, so you can research at the same time more stories, which is valuable because usually it allows you to reduce the time. But also here in Industry City Harbor, where if you go to printer you can unlock extra page modules, so add more pages to your news and you can go up to 6. But for now we'll want to get this pretty early. We'll also want to get this pretty early, so I want to move here to go in this route and try to unlock both. Okay, once you've had your neighborhood, you can actually go to back to the newspaper, and here you can click here to actually see the requirements. So here we have society and entertainment. Now, usually on the first week I like to go through the hires and see if I find something interesting. Now, I'd really like to look at the traits, and I like, especially at the beginning, to actually switch people quite a lot when I see better traits, but here there's not actually something that really interests me. Maybe if we go to utility, this guy is actually interesting. This guy I do like with athletic. Athletic just makes walking speed faster, which I think only utility guys can have it, but for them it's pretty good because it allows them to go quicker and resolve a certain issue. And here he can have only washing, sweeping and repairing. What do you have, for instance? Now you have repairing and transporting. I kinda want this guy to be our sweeper, because usually the washing guy doesn't do that much, so this guy needs to be a bit more strong. So I'll just do this. I'll replace her with him, and I can't really add you here, and honestly then I'm gonna just fire you. You're not needed anymore. Thank you for your service. Actually don't think you did anything. I think you just cleared once there, but anyways. So yeah, let's now look at production. Yeah, we don't have anything interesting here. If we look at reporters, yeah, still nothing really interesting. We do have noise tolerant, but noise tolerant is really good for the guy who sits in this room, for the repairman, but it's pretty useless for any other guy there, because usually you will construct their office so that they won't have any problems with noise. So yeah, nothing interesting there. I would suggest actually consuming your applications each time and try to navigate through all of the reporters. Now, psychic is an interesting one because psychic can sometimes allow you to automatically unlock the next stories. I don't think we've had one so far, but sometimes you can have stories that go through each of the different that have stages to them, and psychics 25% of the times allows you to automatically move to the next story. Now there's also a chance to add forecasting to horoscopes. That's a bit of a future tech. I don't find it that useful, to be honest. But for now, there's 25% chance. It is good, let's say good. Sometimes it will trigger from time to time. It will reduce your time. There's also another trait I don't remember that actually guarantees that. So each time, I think it's teamwork or coordination, it's a gold trait. When you use that, your guy will always unlock the next story there. But actually, I'm gonna grab this guy just to have them. I'll probably find better people out there, but I'll just grab him for now, just to keep him there. And let's use our trait again. Oh, so this is what I was looking for. This is a really good trait. It makes the guy level up really much faster. So I actually want that guy. And maybe I need to replace stuff. So we have entertainment, economy, and society. And that guy is entertainment, politics, and society. So let's see if I can directly replace a guy there. Can disable these two things, see only the reporters. So we have an extra society, an extra entertainment, and an extra economy. And I'm just trying to figure out how to balance these guys correctly. So we have entertainment, politics, and society. Let me actually hire him, and that might make it a bit easier. So now we have society and entertainment. There are really a lot of people working on that. So society, entertainment, same. Oh, actually we might be able to politics free. Yeah, we can actually fire this guy. Does he have some interesting trait? No, he doesn't have anything. So we're actually gonna fire him. And you go ahead and take. Are you society? Yeah, you're society. Go ahead and take his desk. Have society. Any other reporting accessories that we can have? Yeah, we did receive these boxing gloves. And we can add them there. So as you can see, these guys now have an extra star in sports. Anything else? Okay, this guy is also society. And we don't have any more money left. Okay, sometimes when you need money you can take a loan. I'm gonna do it now. I don't suggest you actually get too many loans because it's not really worth it most of the time, so don't try to max this out. I think it goes to $5,000 max. But in this case I think I'm actually gonna do it because I want to place this thing here. Now when placing objects, I would first assign all of the people to their desk, because if a desk doesn't have anything assigned to it, you won't be able to see if that person actually needs that object or not. So you can see with these guys, because they don't have the society skill, it doesn't show highlighted as blue. So when you're placing objects, make sure you have everyone assigned to their desk. Okay, the other guys are not really interesting to me. Now let me refresh again. Yeah, nothing there. I'm basically looking for the one that this guy had, or let me go here. So I'm looking for this one for versatile. There's one more which has an experience boost to the used skill, so it's the same as 50%. Again, it's a bit weaker than this one, but it's also good because that person will level up faster. And there's also some gold ones which are really good, and I'm looking for people that actually fit those. You basically want to go to about 8 people in total. I don't think you need more than 8, to be honest, if they're high level. And you want to have every main category at about 4 people that can actually research it. So you can have, if you can have 4 in each, that's a really perfect ratio. But yeah, it's okay. So each week try to go through the people you have available, use each section and try to get some good skills and good people. Okay, now districts. Now for the districts, in order to fulfill this request, you need to have society and entertainment in this case, but each district will have its own request. So in the world map, you can actually prioritize certain categories. So in this case, I like to prioritize entertainment and of course society. Each district will have its requirement, and it's a good idea to prioritize the news at least until you are able to fulfill that requirement. So we're gonna just do that and fast forward again. And one more thing, actually, I should have done it earlier. I'm gonna order some food because we'll run low on food in a minute. But anyways, now I have 2 news available. So here you can see we have a society one. This is what I was talking about with news that requires multiple steps. So right now we have to first investigate this one and then you can access the other two. This one is the same. You first need to investigate this one, and actually let me use this guy. Okay, it didn't trigger, but first you investigate this one and then you get to pick which one you want. But we already have the society, so I'm going to disable this. Now we're waiting for entertainment. The society again, but oh, actually we get an entertainment tag, that's good. So I'm gonna research this one and this one. Okay, and now we get to pick. We can research with this guy already. Should I do this? This one is a bit better because it has 2 tags, but for this guy I have to wait 3 hours. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for this guy to come and I'm gonna send this guy on the mission. When certain things have happened with the news, so people has finished a certain news, you get this blue exclamation point, and you can also access them from the right here, but I prefer to just use the map. Okay, so let's see. So we have this news available, and we can send this guy in, or you can send this guy. Actually gonna send him now, because I'm gonna use the other two guys to go here and go here, and this way we can research all of them. Again, we have a limited number of news that we can research each week, and it's best to be able to research all of the news available each week, because that way we can create the best newspapers and have more revenue. So I would suggest that maybe if during a week you couldn't research all of them, you need a bit more reporters, you need to maybe improve their skills, do something like that. Okay, so we're gonna place this guy here and we're just gonna move on. The news are being done. Now, right now, we can do this even without it, but in the future, when you have a lot of news, maybe you won't finish processing them, all of them during a week. They can be moved over, and we'll talk more about how that works when we reach that point. But in order to make sure that the news that you want for the missions or for the district, to make sure that they will be processed, you can actually prioritize them, and you can click this button, and here we have a news story that contains both entertainment and society, so it's a good idea to prioritize it. Okay, we have a new crime story, and this has actually an object, so let's grab that. Okay, this finished. This guy's is bringing up the report. We have a choice here. Let me actually take a look. Do we have another? Because if you have another gossip or another triumphant, you can actually link them together and score more points, more revenue. But here I don't think we have a similar story, so it doesn't really matter what we pick here. Let's just go to the shorter one, or no, they're the same time. Yeah, shorter one. So this is an accessory for crime. Let's add it. So we need one here and one here. Okay, we're gonna add this one for both of those guys, and we'll have an extra one there. And now I'm realizing that they don't have any clocks, so let's add some clocks there. We have an extra reporter? No, we don't. Okay, one for economy and also with an object. That's good news. Just gonna move on. Let me check a bit their work. Make sure that they have everything ready. I'm gonna just move it to this guy to optimize it a bit. And then we got the metal slug. This is actually pretty good. So like I said, each station has it's their own improvement objects, and this metal slug trolley actually improves the skill of both of these guys, so that's pretty good news, because it will make their job now a bit faster. And by the way, note for the developers, placing with this trash cans makes it really annoying, because if I want to place this obstacle here, it doesn't really allow me due to the trash can, or if I want to move this building right here, it doesn't also move the trash can. So maybe you can make the trash can act like a globe or something, so that when you move it, it will move it with the globe. That will be a bit better in my opinion, but I don't know, just saying. Okay, so let's move on into the final day. We'll check again to see how the workstation are going. Again, you don't have to do this, but because I'm aiming for a really big score, I want to make it as optimized as possible. But you don't usually need to just pay attention at each station. And we managed to actually research all of the news. Do we have paper? Yeah, we should have quite a lot of paper. So let's move on and start printing. Okay, so for our mission we need society and entertainment. This one is a really good news because it has 4 tags. Okay, And then let's see if we can link certain stuff. You can actually click those tags in order to sort them. So the only one which is linked is these two. So maybe we can add these two there. Yeah, there's nothing that better we can do. We'll add this economy with the unveiling one, and maybe just add the normal entertainment one there. Okay, this should be good. Okay, new record, 65,000 newspapers sold. We make $2,200 from it. And now we have the district. Now, each time you succeed in the district, for each of the different tags you get one extra subscribers, which from what I understand it is basically a guaranteed sale on extra sale on the newspaper, which can add up when you have 40 districts. And there's one more thing. When you fully complete a district in one try, so like we did here because we managed to do both of the tags, you also get an extra influence point. And influence points are used for the research tree. They're really important. I would say sometimes influence points might be harder to gain than money, and there might actually be your limiting factor, influence points. But if you finish a district in one go, you actually get a bonus influence. Now, if for instance, we didn't have the entertainment one and we only had society, then we wouldn't have gotten this influence point, even if we finish both of them. But yeah, so try to finish each district in one go. Okay, here we get an extra sales. We also got 1,000 total money, and now we get to pick again. Now, like I said, I want this to get this district first, to have access to both the radio tower and the city harbor. So let's actually pick them. So I'm gonna pick this district. Here we need society and tragic, which tragic is a more complex tag. It will be discovered as part of other categories. Usually there's two of them, and this can be discovered either in crime or in society. Okay, so first of all, I need to order some paper. Station also consumes resources, so the telegraph station actually needs paper. So I'm gonna add it once we receive the shipment. And we need more paper in our printer, I think, for this week. So I just ordered that. Now we can also take a look at the hires. This guy is pretty good because he gives extra experience for people that are in the room with him. I'm thinking, should we add it here? So he has a skill in telegrapher. Now, telegrapher doesn't really slow you too much down. These guys are a bit more important, to be honest. But he only has a skill in telegrapher, and these guys are already skilled. Okay, I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna actually fire this guy, and I'm gonna hire him in instead. Now, both of them I think had one skill, but this guy has an extra benefit because now he will give 10% of experience to the other guys with him in a room. And maybe it doesn't matter really because it only works. I was thinking of demolishing this wall, but the reporters don't have that skill, so... Or actually I don't know how this works actually. No, not here. Yeah, that share the same skill, so it doesn't work on reporters. Yeah, too bad. What you can do about it. Okay, now if I go to reporters, noise tolerant, don't care, resilient, yeah, don't care about that. Utility, another strong person. Do we need an extra one? Yeah, not really. I think one is enough for now. This guy will be enough for a long time, I think. We'll probably do most of our work ourselves. But strong, but this guy has some washing, so let's actually hire the washing station because the toilets will start getting dirty. Maybe it's happening already, but I don't know. By the way, I personally like to keep the comfort view always on because it can help you identify some problems before the people actually get concentration issues. Right now, do we have someone with concentration problems so I can show you that? No, not really. Everyone inside max, but when they get concentration issues, they'll have a debuff to their skill level. So it's a good idea to see fast all of these problems or discomforts and be able to improve them. So here I'm gonna add in trash cans everywhere, make sure that there's no paper issue there. Okay, so we took a look at production, we saw that guy, we took a look at utility. Let me actually re-roll reporters a couple of times. Okay, so we have a versatile guy again. Let me see, can I replace someone with him? Let me just add it for now and see how our skills look. So we basically have one extra society and one less crime. I don't like nocturnal. This is pretty useless. And we have crime, entertainment and politics. Entertainment, politics, crime. So we can actually fire her. But we can fire him. Oh, sorry. We can fire him. He has basically no skills, only in entertainment, not that useful. So yeah. We could fire him, but let's keep it just for this week. It isn't that expensive to keep extra people around. Maybe we'll use them. So we'll fire him next time if he doesn't really, or maybe if we find someone more useful. Now for the district, now we have society and tragic. In order to get society, we just prioritize society. For tragic, we need crime or society. So let's keep society and crime for now and see if we can find what we need. So now we first have a crime mission. I'm just gonna place a guy in there. And now we get society and tragic. This is one of the places where the decision, the path is really important. As you can see, you can either have politics and unrest or society and tragic. You have to research more this way, but this way we have tragic, which is required for the district. So I'm actually gonna pick this. And you remember the psychic skill. Like I said, sometimes, normally you'll have to research this story before going to the next one. But because this guy has psychic, he actually managed to actually do it immediately. Now, here I could add this guy to finish a bit faster the news, but actually I'm gonna add this guy. There's 2 hour differences, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this guy. But this guy I'll probably keep because he has versatile. So I'm trying to maximize the XP on this guy, because when I fire him, this XP will be wasted. Now here I have just one option, so I'm gonna add that guy there. Now we have 5 more news available, and we have 2 guys available. And I think I'm gonna say now, okay, we don't have any more society news left. When this indicator turns red, it means that there are no more stories available with that tag. But now we have politics and sports available, and this guy is economy and sports. So let's try to get a sports news, because we know that we have people available specifically with that one. And our delivery of paper arrived, so let's try to add it to the guys there, and the rest of the paper I'm gonna add in to the printer. I will add in another command, but we don't have enough money, and I don't really want to take another loan, so just keep it like this. Okay, no news. For this story, we'll just wait for someone to become available. Let's just use this guy, it will take a day. And now we have 2 new sports stories available. Again, even though it will take a day, we might not be able to finish all of the stories this time. Even though it will take a day, I'm gonna use this guy. And here's one of the issues I noticed. We actually have on there a thing, so I'm gonna add it. He shouldn't have 0 because we have an object for that. So now he has 1. Okay, 80 hours is a bit better. And now for this one, let's just send the guy with the high skill. So we did all of the sports one also. Let's see what guys we have available. So this is crime. Society I would like, but I don't have any more, so we can have economics. Yeah, economics. So let's pick an economics one for now. So let's use this guy really quickly. This guy here. Just gonna move a bit faster from with the things. Here, by the way, you have a risk. So when you have a story with a risk, you have to do stuff and bad things might happen. In this case, our reporter got arrested, and he will be arrested for 4 days. So unfortunately, we won't have access for him for the next 4 days. Hopefully we don't need him. And when the screen goes like that, it actually shows on risk, shows you a bad event. In this case, you have these arrest warrants, and there will be a station in the future which can be used to process these arrest warrants and reduce the sentence of your reporter, but for now we don't have that available, so we just have to wait for the full 4 days. Again, just hitting Q to fast forward. Okay, we have a new object here, perfect. And this is a lawsuit. Honestly, we got arrested once. Lawsuit is the same. Some people will deliver the lawsuits. A car will come and deliver a lawsuit. Now it's similar. The lawyer also can process it, but for the lawsuit, if you don't have it processed by the end of the week, you actually lose money. So I think for the lawsuit is 200 per box. And we don't have a lawyer, so unfortunately we'll probably have to pay that money. We have an extra entertainment one with the new object. For the first weeks you will have a lot of missions with objects. Basically there's pretty much one for each different story type. But after that, most of them you'll have to buy yourself. And yeah, we got here the bookkeeper. This is for economy. And this is not the best idea, but actually I'm gonna take on another loan, because this will improve our guys. So I'm gonna add in economy ones to the guys that can actually use it. And yeah, we got the poster. The improvements you get are pretty much scripted. After the first 4 weeks you should have all of the level 1s available. And here we have a smallish, let's see how we can fit this thing in. Okay, I think we can just do that. Okay, and now this guy will have a bonus to entertainment also. Okay, so we research all of the missions. Let me check to see how the articles are distributed. Okay, everything seems fine. I think we can just move forward. How many? We should have enough paper to be able to print. Yeah, let's keep it like this for now. Have Sunday. We managed to build all of the articles. And now let's print. Okay, so for this one we need society and tragic. Let's see. We can actually put it on the first page, but there's not really something we can combo with it. I think this is the best one to combo multiple times. And then we need to place this one because it will give us an extra, it will give us a district. And I think these two is the final ones, but we can actually switch it because this one has free tags and it will make the newspaper sell a bit better, and that should be okay. We have both of our pages. Let's hit start again and get to printing. Okay, so 61,000 newspapers sold. 2,500 total revenue. Okay, we got the influence points and the sales went quite a lot up, but we remain only with 1,100 $1,100 in the bank. Okay, and we unlocked a bunch of stuff. Now, these buildings, like I said, contain upgrades. And in order to unlock them, you need to unlock a district that's adjacent to it. So in this case, we could buy the market if we had like 4 influence points. We could buy the big fan, which helps with smell and heat. We will do this in the future, but for now my mind is set to this radio tower and the telegraph station. So we're gonna pick this district now. Okay, so let's see. For this one, let me actually make sure I order paper. I just use a big order. Other things like water is okay, this guy are okay. Okay, we should be fine there. So we need entertainment, we need crime society, so this is adventurous, and inspiring is entertainment plus society. So this should be fine. Let's move forward. This is crime, but we don't actually have what we want here, so it's okay. Here you can see on this one that we have a silver tag. So again, this is a bit more valuable, but when you print it costs a bit more paper. But now we can just use it. Now there's a difference between these guys, but I actually want... oh, I can't. Okay, so if I want to go through this route I need crime. So sure, let's just use this guy here. Now this is society, but it's actually entertainment, okay. So let me pick this guy, because I'm probably gonna keep him. Here, okay, so here we actually get the inspiring one, which is good. I'm actually gonna use the one that's more skilled, because it will reduce a bit the time. Okay, and this is breaking news. So breaking news are a bit more special stories. They usually consist of multiple things you can that you have to research in a really limited time. So in this case we have to research both 2 stories in 1 day. So if you don't do the all stories have this, so they have a time limit. We didn't really encounter it until now, but specifically for breaking news they are on top of your existing research items. But when you encounter them you actually have to research them in the pretty, let's say, tough time limit. So in this case it's just 1 day. Now this guy will take 43 minutes to actually give the story, and this guy is almost full. He's now carrying the story, I think. So we might manage to pull this off without having to do it. But sometimes it's a good idea to hire temporary extra reporters just to be able to finish breaking news. Now if you do manage to finish them, the tag which was involved in the breaking news, which in this case is crime, will get double value in your newspaper, which can be really valuable there. So okay, let's try to actually get this news. So in order to do that you can actually move your reporters, so I'm gonna quickly move them there. Let me actually check it once again. So there are 22 hours. Okay, this take 16 hours, and we have a mobster. We'll talk about that a bit later, but let me fast forward really slowly and make sure yeah, we're in time. Okay, so we basically managed to fit both of these news, and we'll probably manage to finish the breaking news because we have 19 hours left, and this guy will finish in 18 hours. Now, as part of that story, there's also this tag, this risky tag with mobsters, and which basically mobsters is this guy, which will come in and break your stuff and kill your people. And unfortunately right now there's nothing we can do about it. In the future there are some ways to do it, to actually avoid this, and I'm gonna rush for him for it after we research the telegraph, but I really want the telegraph for now. Okay, we'll press this guy here. He didn't trigger the next part of the story, but what can you do? Sometimes it doesn't happen. it's a low chance. And actually we still need adventurers. Oh, come on guys, because I don't have that many crime guys. Should we actually hire a new guy? Let's see. Oh, this person is really good. This person is really good. Okay, at least we have great people there. This rate is a bit it's really good because it allows you to avoid risky stuff like you see here. So in this case with the mobster, if we would have had sent her to report on this news, we won't have this mobster there. So we might actually want to pick her up. Okay, let me do this. Let's go to reporting. We'll add in a new reporter desk and we will actually add her. Now, production, these guys. So, Big Brother, I don't know, is good, but not really great. But this one with the deadline driven, this increases the task speed during Saturdays and Sundays. Now, 25% increased speed is pretty good on everyone, even if it's just Saturday and Sundays, but specifically for assemblers, for typesetting desk and for assembly desk, this is really good in fact, because usually these guys don't really work in the beginning of the week, because they basically, the reporters have to go out and report on the news first. Well, if you have a big backlog, they might do stuff also on Monday or and Tuesday. But right now, for instance, this guy, as you can see, is free. This guy maybe has a story. This guy is free. So in actual fact, they mostly work a lot on Saturday and Sundays, and that's when you want them to pull through. So this is actually really good. Now, this is just 25% fast. So yeah, sure, she produces more trash. I don't know, buy more maids, I guess. But 25% work speed, it's actually really, really good. So I'm gonna actually use both of them. So she can be a typesetter, she can be an assembler. Let's see, how do these guys look? Okay, this guy is just normal, so I can fire him and replace him with her. And assembly, how does she look? Machine is being worked on, breaks down more slowly. Okay, it's an interesting skill. Let's take a look at this guy. Yeah, this guy doesn't have nothing, so he is gone, and I'm gonna replace her with her. Okay, so now let's see, we have good people there. So I would really like in the next, let's say, 5 to max 10 weeks, all of the people that work in typesetting and assembly to have one of those two traits. Now, Messi would be better, but I'm not complaining even if they have like deadline driven. Okay, anything interesting here? Work speed increases for 2 days after drinking coffee, for repair, sweeping and washing. Okay, this could actually be interesting, but increasing work speed, okay, that's better. So she is strong and she's washing now. Okay, he is heat tolerant. I think this guy was also strong, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, strong. And this guy, athletic. And And here, actually, for these workers, I think walking speed is a bit more better than work speed because they walk a lot. So, and we need to unlock coffee. We don't have coffee already, so I don't think I'm gonna pick her. Plus, she doesn't have any skills. But maybe for the washer to have athletic, just to have one extra athletic person. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna remove her and add her. There's no, you don't have to pay any money for firing and hiring. It just gets calculated at the end of the week. So you can switch around people as much as you want. And you can actually, as you saw with the breaking news, you can hire reporters and then fire them at the end of the week. Okay, let's move on now to reporters. There isn't any interesting one here. Let's refresh a couple of... Oh, okay, I like this. So we have 3 people with quick study and 1 people with versatile. Okay, guys, we are gonna do some changes here. So let me actually remove most of my stuff for now. If a person is reporting, you can't actually remove them. But we are going to need to do a bit of cleaning up here. So I'm gonna just add these 3 people in. Do a refresh. Yeah, nothing. This courageous one is interesting, but it doesn't matter that much for reporters because they will be... this basically means that won't happen what's happening here with this person being scared of the mobster. But it isn't that good on reporters because they don't really interact with mobsters. And anyways, after we get a certain building, and we'll get it pretty soon, mobsters won't really be a problem. But honestly, in this, before you get that building, in this week's mobster can really cause some damage, so pay attention to that. Okay, so I'm not just gonna grab her, to be honest, and these guys, yeah, nothing interesting. Okay, so now we have a ton of reporters. Let's see who we're gonna actually fire. So, god damn it. Makes it a bit harder to do because they don't really show here when you don't have them selected. But let's see. So we have everyone. Yeah, basically everyone has some interesting skill. So now, except this guy here. So this guy we're probably gonna fire, but unfortunately he's one of the few ones that has crime, but I guess it's okay for now. Entertainment, we have too many, and because he has nocturnal entertainment, we'll get rid of an entertainment, we'll get rid of the politics, and we have more politics people here, so that should be okay. And I don't know, maybe we'll try to get rid of this cheap one, but we will have too few people with crime, so we'll have to see. So, anyone we can actually remove right now? No, not really. Okay. Maybe let's just wait for the next news item. See what we need. So here we actually need a crime, so I'm gonna send her there. And we need an extra crime and we don't have any crime people. Let me... Oh, because we have people here. Let me actually do this. We're gonna go to this one. Actually remove her. Where is she sitting? Where are you? Nowhere. Okay. Maybe she will show up here. Okay. So she's here. Can I? Come on. Chill out. Can I maybe remove one of these guys? Okay, sure. You don't need it. Okay, we have her on here, and if we can go, we can place her on this story. Okay, so now the crime one is a hot topic, which really helps us. We don't want any more crime stories. We just want an entertainment one. Some extra stories here. We actually got the adventurous one. I'm gonna use her because I like the quick study trait. She should level up a bit faster. Here we can pick whatever we want. I'm actually gonna pick this. We don't want any more risky news. Okay, and here there's gonna be a fine. Let me remove you for a second. We have a sports person here that I can use. Yes, we have this guy. Actually, this guy I'm gonna just fire right now, because I don't think he has... Yeah, he doesn't have any trait, so let's just remove it from now, because I know for sure that we're gonna not keep him. So, sports. Yeah, we have this guy, maybe... For sports, we can grab this one from here to add him to +1. And let's see, do we get the fine? Yeah, we get the fine, and we need to take another loan. God damn it, man. Too many loans. And another 200. They're not getting too lucky, to be honest, this run. My previous run was much better. Honestly, we got better people and everything. It was way better. Okay. How does this breakdown looks? So we have too much economy, too much entertainment, too much society. So we need politics, crime, and sports. Politics, no. Entertainment, crime, and no. So let's see here. This Ernest Ludden, I'm just gonna fire. He did his job. And now it becomes a bit tough, because I think we are over committed to someone. So we have entertainment, politics, and society. Politics is one which we don't have covered too much. Entertainment, politics, and society. Entertainment, politics, and society. So we have people which are pretty much similar. We don't need both of them. I want to remove at least one of them from here. Now, she's a bit cheaper and has this trait with gaining 50% experience. She's lucky. which helps us with avoiding any risks in news. Now, honestly, I think luck is not that useful, especially late game, because we have a lot of ways to mitigate risks. After a time, basically the only ones which really can't hurt you anymore are there's one that can place reporters in hospitals. That's pretty much the only one that can have a negative effect. So this is way more valuable. So Lucille, I'll have to let you go, unfortunately. You're also really expensive, so yeah. Okay, and we still have 7 ones to go. I actually want to get rid of this guy, but this guy has crime and I don't have a lot of people with crime, so I'm just gonna keep him from now. He just have just $47, that's okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep him from now. Let's add our 2 more reporters. Now look again. Okay, so we have too many society, not enough crime. That's basically the problem. We need to get rid of someone with society. That will be perfect. Okay, this guy is just cheap but doesn't have society. So, oh boy. Actually, let's just get rid of this guy because he has both entertainment, so yeah. And he's just not that good with the straight. Yeah, it's okay. The psychic trait, it's okay, but it's not the best. So now we're pretty balanced. The only problem is we have society instead of crime, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because society at first is the one that can really get buffed a lot, because we have +2 there. And with the society buff, if you focus on it, you can really cover a lot of news. You have basically +3 in it compared to the other stuff where you might have lower numbers. So it's actually a good thing to focus on society early on. And I'm just gonna add some boxing gloves for her. Okay, that's about it, I would say, for the rearranging. Let's just finish our task here. Yeah, sure, we're gonna grab him. He has extra experience. I don't think we're finished that news task because it's a bit late, but we also have the political map. So the final day here. Do we have everything covered? Yeah, we should have everything covered for filling our requests. And now we can finally print. So let's just focus on crime on the first page. This news is really strong because it also have a silver tag. On the second page, I guess we can add this one, and we need entertainment, adventurous and inspiring. So if we do something like this, then this, can we actually combo something? We could combo entertainment, but unfortunately these ones don't match. So I think this should be enough for now. Can hit start and print. Okay, so 79,000 newspapers. That's good. Get 2,700 in revenue. We get our influence points and quite extra sales there, but we still don't have too much money. We have to repay our debt, to be honest, but we'll get there. Okay, and we can leave recap. We achieved the objective for this few weeks. It was basically to go to the radio tower, and now we can actually buy the telegraphic station. But I'm just gonna buy it, but I think I'll leave it here for now. So this was News Tower. Thanks a lot for joining me to there, and I hope to hear you next time. Bye bye.